Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Customer Relationships and Key Account Management, Chapter number 14, Part 2. Learning Objectives. After reading this part, you should be able to understand the marketer's view of personal selling, type of salespeople, describe ways of motivating the sales force, describe the key account characteristics, and describe CRM factors. Introduction. Business is largely about professional relationships, even though salespeople often aim to be totally rational in their buying behavior. The personalities of the people they see convey an image about the personality of the supplying corporation. For the buyer, the sales representative is a corporation. Personal selling has a special place in business-to-business transactions. Because of the higher order values and fewer number of buyers, suppliers feel the need to offer a personal service supplied by the sales force. Marketers' view of personal selling. Salespeople are able to find, inform, and persuade customers in a way that has yet to be bettered by any other communication medium. This view of personal selling emphasizes the provision of information and the element of persuasion. Personal selling is one of several possible options available to the marketer for communicating the company's message to the customers. Its major advantage over the other communication is that the message can be tailored to fit the prospect's need for information. This is very much a marketer-oriented view. Marketers appear to be working to the model shown in this figure 14.3. Replacements for Salesforce function. Salesforce function, it can be replaced with the marketer's replacement model. Prospecting, brought in database combination. Evaluating prospects, database scrutiny, credit reinforcing technology, response to direct mail. Preparing, combining databases to find most effective approach to the individual customers. Approaching the customer, initial mail, internet advertisement, direct response advertising. Making the presentation, tailored direct mail, internet or email negotiation. Overcoming objections, interactive computer-based, internet-based information system. Closing, internet-based close, credit transfer, email order forms, follow-up, direct mail. So these are some ways available to the marketers to replace the Salesforce function with the latest available technology nowadays. Activity marketer versus salesperson. We can compare these two activities, that what are the activities of marketer and what are the activities of salesperson. When we look into the marketer activities, it tells us research into the needs of the consumer, while salesperson activities include needs analysis based on situation and problem, questions, gap analysis can be done by the marketer's activity. Analysis of needs to identify problem is the activity of a salesperson. New product development designed to meet the customer needs is an activity of a marketer, while selection from among the existing range of products to find closest fit for prospects' need is an activity of a salesperson. Marketer's activity also entails pricing, selecting a price which meets the needs and expectation of both the customer and the firm, while price negotiation, negotiating a price which meets the needs and expectation of both the customer and the firm is an activity of a salesperson. Marketer activity is to promotion, developing an appropriate promotion strategy which will equate to the consumer psychological and behavioral characteristics. Why? Salesperson activity about the promotion is explaining the features and benefits of the product in terms of the customer needs, psychology, and behavioral characteristics. Lastly, the marketer's activity of distribution is to ensure that the product is in a convenient place for the consumer to buy it, while salesperson activity of distribution means ensuring that the product reaches the customer in the right quantity and at the right time. Relationship between marketing and selling. This figure explains in a very simple way that what is the relationship between marketing and selling. When we look at the sales force activities, it has to locate prospect, finding out their needs, showing them solutions, negotiating the terms of the sale. While marketing department supplies information material for sellers, softens up customers with advertising and personal personal relation material, public relation material, and marketing department has to provide this information in a shape of brochures, point of sale material, etc. While Salesforce activity is to persuade customers, while marketing department has to advertise public relations and meet shots, etc. towards the customer. So this figure explains the relation between marketing and selling. Types of salespeople. There are several types of salespeople such as consumer direct, industrial direct, government, institutional direct, consumer indirect, industrial indirect, missionary, key account, agents, merchandisers, tally sales, system selling, franchise selling. I will explain one by one these types of salespeople. The first one is consumer direct is a type of salespeople. These salespeople deal with consumers and are therefore outside the scope of this book and this industrial marketing chapter. But they are order getters who rely on selling skills, prepare presentations, can presentation, and conditions response techniques to close sales. In the industrial direct, these salespeople are also order getters but operate on a much large scale. Usually, these people deal with one-off or infrequent purchases such as aircraft sales to airlines, machine tools, greenfield civil engineering projects, and so forth. The emphasis for these salespeople is on negotiation skills. Industrial indirect is a type of salespeople. Most of the activity of these people is in supporting distributors and agents. They need strong product knowledge and will need to concentrate on defending existing business from incoming competition. This is because it is typically the case that product and price are similar between competitors. The service level the salesperson offers is therefore the main competitive tool. Missionary sale. Missionaries develop sales by influencing members of the decision-making unit who are not necessarily buyers. For example, missionaries work for drug companies persuading doctors to prescribe certain drugs. The doctors do not buy the drugs themselves. Pharmacists stock the drugs, but doctors decide which drugs to prescribe. This type of selling is most effective when selling cycle is long but the information needs of potential specifiers are immediate, when other forms of communication cannot convey the whole picture, and when the buying process is complex. Key account salespeople. A key account is one which is of strategic importance, which represents a substantial proportion of the supplier's turnover, or which is likely to lead to a change in a way the firm does business. Key account salespeople need very strong negotiation skill, a high degree of confidence, and the ability to relate to people at many different levels in the organization. Agents. A manufacturer agent represents many different suppliers but does not take title to the goods. Agents typically co-own the same regular group of customers but offer a wide range of goods. The skills required are therefore the ability to understand a wide range of products, the administrative ability to keep track of the orders and to meet the differing order formats of the client companies, and the ability to work efficiently, often on low margins. Good agents do not carry products which compete directly with each other, although there are exceptions to this general rule. Merchandisers call on large and small retail outlets specifically for the purpose of maintaining in-store displays and point of sale material. In some cases, for example, Procter and Gamble suppliers have their own employees stationed in supermarkets so as to improve the coordination of their supply operations. These salespeople are sometimes called customer account managers, which more accurately describes the breadth of their role. Telesales. Telesales can be either inbound or outbound. Inbound telesales involve responding to customer inquiries often generated by advertising or exhibitions. Outbound telesales usually involves cold calling prospects or replacing a personal visit with a telephone call. The main advantage of telesales is that it is very much cheaper than personal calls. The main disadvantage is that it is considerably less effective on a call-for-call basis. Telesales people need good communication skills, including a clear speaking voice. On the plus side, the telesales operators usually has better access to customer information than a field salesperson would have, since he or she can be online during the call. System selling. This involves teams of salespeople, each of whom brings a different skill to bear on the problem. Missionary salespeople, new business salespeople, and technical salespeople may all be involved in selling to the same account. Franchise selling. Franchising is much the same as licensing, but is much more extensive. The franchisor grants the franchisee the right to use its business system and provide extensive support services and promotional input. In exchange, the franchisee pays a substantial royalty and an upfront franchise fee and agrees to conduct the business exactly according to the instructions from the franchisor. An example of this in the business-to-business field is Snap-on Tools, which supplies tools to the light engineering and motor trade. The selling cycle. The selling sequence is drawn as a cycle to indicate that it is an ongoing process, although in this practice each salesperson will divide up his or her day in such a way as to carry out several or even all of the separate process at once. So this selling cycle is explained in this figure 14.5. Key account characteristics. A key account is one which possesses some or all of the characteristics such as accounts for a significant proportion of the firm's overall sales, cooperation between distribution channel members rather than conflict, supplier-customer relationship for low cost and higher efficiency, lengthy negotiations and frequent contact between firms. Supply involves servicing aspects, technical support, and delivery of physical products. Key account selling features. Key account selling has the features such as there will be many decision makers involved. The salesperson may not be present when the final decision is made. The problem which the salesperson must address are often complex and insoluble in a permanent sense. The consequences of the problem are often much more serious than the immediate situation would suggest. Spin questions. Rackham 1995 identified four groupings of the question types. S stands for situation question, P stands for problem question, I stands for implication question and N stands for need payoff question. Situation question. These questions are about finding out the current situation of the prospect customer in terms of the customer's strategic direction, financial position, status of the problem, and so forth. Problem questions. These questions relate to the specific problem the buyer has at present. These questions help to develop mutual understanding of the problem and reveal the implied needs. Implication question. These explore the wider implications of the problem and often reveal that the problem has much greater ramifications than were at the first apparent. This makes the buyer feel the problem much more acutely. Need payoff questions. These questions enable the buyer to state explicit needs, which allows the seller to explain the benefits of the product. Principles for managers to follow. Only managers have to only become involved when your presence makes a unique difference. No sales calls on a customer unless your salesperson is with you. Agree on specific and clear selling roles before any joint calls. Be an active internal seller for your salesperson. Always have a withdrawal strategy. Managing the sales force. For the management of sales force, one has to look into the recruitment, training, payment, motivation, territory management, etc. Tear-off in salesperson pay packages. It can be low that a company can offer monthly salary or monthly commission where order values are high, where the order values are low, where the sales cycle is long, where the sales cycle is short. So these are some factors. Upon looking into these factors, company can decide upon the salesperson pay package. CRM factors, customer relation management factors. CRM perceives usefulness, setting of accurate expectations regarding system uses, salesperson innovativeness toward new technological tools, CRM perceived ease of use, supervisor encouragement and support. So these are the factors of CRM that a company has to look at, that company has to give due consideration to these factors to make the selling more efficient. Summary for this chapter. What we have discussed about in this chapter: relationship between firms operate at many levels. Conflict leads to creative solutions. Trust and person-to-person relations are essential. Selling is about solving problems for customers. Selling may not be long in the communication mix at all. Salespeople often identify with customers. After sales activities are essential. Techniques used in small account selling are counterproductive in key account selling. Communication is a way of ensuring fairness. It is probably not a strong motivator.